Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing great and about to feel better, because today I want us just to relax, to read some Reddit stories and talk about what's going on in the wellness space. Spoiler, it's a lot of weird things. If you're new here, my name is Anastasia and here on my channel we talk about social media trends, recent events and all things wellness. And before we start, I just want to remind you to follow me here on YouTube not to miss any future uploads, and of course to support my channel and support my work. And well, now get comfortable, grab your snacks and your drinks, and let's already dive into today's stories. Well, let's read the first one, shall we? So the first story says, Rude Pilates instructor or I'm thinking way too much, written by Copy Salmon. I had a weird interaction with a Pilates instructor today and I'm just wondering if I'm just taking it too hard. I've just started getting back into Pilates reformer and I'm not an athletic person whatsoever. I've been going to one particular Pilates studio for a while now, since there is not much choice of Pilates studios from where I'm from. And I've been trying my hardest to do all the forms that were taught in the class. Some I can do easily and some I struggle. I signed up for a class with a new instructor whom I never had much interaction with before, and as I was struggling to do certain poses forms on the reformer, she would come to me and ask me, do you need an ambulance? In a joking manner, which I don't mind. Well, it's good that you're not taking it personally, because that's a weird thing to say, to be honest. She occasionally corrected me, but for one of the poses, she slapped my leg as I did not know that I have to relax my leg for that pose. As the class progressed, I could not do one of the forms as she told and asked me, have you taken my class before? I responded and said no, and she told me, don't come back again. What? She occasionally corrected me and her techniques are easy to understand, which is exactly what I was looking for. I just felt disheartened by her actions and comments. I don't know, maybe I was the weakest person in the class? I just felt like she wasn't encouraging and kind about it. She didn't give the same energy to other women in the class. I don't know, I've taken many classes with other instructors and I've never felt so disheartened. P.S. there is no level system, different classes for beginner or intermediate at the Pilates studio that I went to. It just sucks and I felt really bad about myself. Damn, I am really sorry that you felt this way. I mean, it doesn't matter, even if you are the weakest person in the class, you know, that's not a normal behavior for a Pilates instructor, any instructor or trainer for that matter. And as you said, there is not even a level system in the studio, so how are you supposed to know if the class fits you or not, right? So like, that's the studio's fault, not yours. I swear it so irritates me when some people think that having more experience or knowledge makes them superior, you know, like, she could be nicer to you. She could say, for example, that you're not ready for this class yet, right? She could suggest you to go to the beginner class. She could suggest you a certain Pilates instructor at the studio and everything, you know, but she was freaking rude to you. I'm telling you, some Pilates instructors need to be reminded that people can work out at home for free, you know, because people come to Pilates classes to feel safe, you know, to find community, to reconnect with their bodies, to be guided, to learn, for example, but not to be embarrassed or shamed. I don't know, I'm sorry that you had this kind of experience and had to deal with a person like this, but please don't feel bad about yourself because you did nothing wrong here, right? Like that Pilates instructor, she should feel bad about herself because she's in the wrong here 100%. Let's read the second story. It says, The Real Truth Behind Wellness Clubs, written by Papadonut9. So here it goes. The lockdown caused a big effect on us. I gained a lot of weight, which isn't a great thing to say out loud. Why? Like, that's a normal thing to happen, you know, especially during a lockdown. I mean, who wasn't there, right? So my mom finds an invite to a Zoom class with a guy who hosts fitness classes free of cost. So I decided to give it a shot. The next day, I woke up at 5 and attended the Zoom session. It went well. At the end of the session, all newcomers were added to a WhatsApp group and they were asked to provide identification for their so-called registration. After that, every member was invited into a personal one-to-one counseling session for free. Oi, I don't like where it's going. I was like, this is too good to be true, but still, I went to the session and they said that they will suggest a diet plan for me after I provide my identification. So I provided them with what they need. After a few days, I got a call from the wellness coach saying my registration is complete, and he sends me a screenshot that shows that I'm registered with Herbalife Nutrition. Then later that same evening, I get another call from the same guy saying he has placed an order for some Herbalife supplements which cost almost $6,000. Well, I guess it's better than what I was expecting from one-to-one session, you know, but still this is so bad. Why he's ordering stuff without asking you first? Like, this is not normal. When I asked him about my diet plan, he said that this supplement is my diet. A week later, I received the products and the guy is constantly calling me to pay him. These products are just lying around. As I was not home when these products came, my mom thought that this is another one of my Amazon orders, which she accepted. Now my wallet has burning hole worth 6K. A pretty good way by Herbalife to get money out of people's pockets. No, this is so bad. Like, I would not pay $6K for supplements, you gotta be kidding me. It looks like he's a part of MLM company because usually they trick people this way into buying their products. I don't know, I would call this guy back and I would tell him to take his products back. Otherwise, I would report him for using my ID without my permission and trying to scam me, you know? I understand life is hard, everyone is trying to make a living, but whatever this guy did is just unacceptable. Well, our next story is about bad experience at a run club, written by Rich Baseball 5367. I had kind of a bad experience at a run club recently that I've been reflecting on, and I thought I would share on here. There is this very popular chain of run clubs scattered across my city that were founded by the same person, but each have their own individual leader that takes care of routes, pacing, organizing, etc. Their website and social media markets them as an all paces welcome kind of group. As a beginner runner, they are that faster than my typical pace, just enough for me to keep up, and although it's definitely not my easy pace, I like going because I find it super motivating to follow stronger runners. For reference, they usually run between 6:15 and 6:45 minutes per kilometer. They also usually have someone running at the end to make sure no one gets left behind, in case people need breaks. That's actually pretty smart. The other day, my friend and I tried one that we had never been to before. It was a small crowd, maybe around 10-15 people. The club leader had us introduce ourselves and said that since we were new, they would take it easy. Immediately they started their run at a pretty fast pace, and we started getting close to 5:20 minutes per kilometer by our first kilometer. My friend is a much stronger runner than me, so she was able to keep up, and she would kind of run in between me and them, so I would not get lost, since no one was closing the run. So the first broken promise, huh? They kept increasing the pace until hitting about 5 minutes per kilometer, at which point, after 3-4 kilometers, I could no longer keep up and had to slow down significantly to take a breath and a walk break. My friend came back for me and we stuck together to the end of the run. She seemed really uncomfortable, and at first she would not tell me why, but apparently they, including the leader, had been making fun of us, mostly me, for lagging behind. When the run was over, they all stopped at a coffee shop for pastries, but did not interact with us at all. Wow, what an attitude. For a run club that markets itself as a beginner-friendly, all paces welcome and easy conversational runs, literally quotes from their social media, I was not super impressed. I have to admit that it made me feel a bit demotivated, and although I try not to compare myself too much to others, I've only been running consistently for 3 months, it definitely got to me. Seriously, what the hell is wrong with people? Like, first you're laughing at her for not keeping up, and then you're completely ignoring her. Like, what the hell is this? High school? I'm really sorry you had this kind of experience. I mean, of course you feel demotivated. With that kind of attitude, everyone would feel discouraged, you know? I don't know, if it really got to you, you could, for example, make a video on social media, you know, to bring some attention to this situation and to their run club, so less people go there, you know? But if you feel like it's not worth your energy, then you can gather your own group of people to run, for example, or just keep training on your own, you know? Of course, running on your own maybe is not as motivating, but at the same time it has so many benefits, like no need to adjust to anyone, no need to deal with some mean childish people, you know, like you can choose your own pace, you can slow down or stop whenever you feel like doing that, you know, it's just much more peaceful in general. So just don't get discouraged by this one situation. Of course, it's an unpleasant one, but you keep training, you know, you keep going, and one day, hopefully, you're gonna laugh at their faces. So, our next story is about a weird experience with a new therapist when talking about weight loss, written by Superfun Pizza Party. Let's read it. So I had a first appointment with a new therapist today, and I talked about my weight loss briefly. Since October I've lost 45 pounds and I am about halfway or so to my goal. When I mentioned this today, she was shocked, but not in the way I was expecting. She said that their clinic is all about fat liberation and that she always shuns intentional weight loss and that they promote a healthy at any size attitude. She also told me that we have to take a look into why I wanted to lose weight in the first place, to make sure it wasn't coming from my own body image issues and societal pressures to be thin. She then proceeded to tell me about her own issues with her weight and body positivity. I was honestly at a loss of words. I mean, yeah, I would be speechless too. Instead of making me feel good about my progress, it made me feel like shit for wanting to lose weight in the first place. And like, I'm all about body positivity, I would never shame someone for their weight, but why am I not allowed to just want to lose weight? I don't know. It just made me feel kind of shitty and I wanted to vent about it for a second. Onward with my goals, and I suppose I'll find a different therapist. Well, yeah, you definitely need a new therapist. Because like, since when losing weight is a bad thing? I mean, sure, we have some societal pressure to look a certain way, that's true, but like, people lose weight for different reasons, not just for the appearance, you know, to be healthier, to function better, to have better quality of life, for example, to feel more comfortable in their bodies, etc. I mean, sure, therapists can ask you why, to make sure you have good intentions, you know, to make sure that you do it in a healthy way, but like, not to judge you for your decision. And secondly, as far as I know, therapists are not supposed to talk their personal issues during the session, you know, like, that's so unprofessional. Such a weird situation, to be honest. Like, you go girl with your goal 100%, right? But definitely find a new therapist. Well, and our last story is about weird vibes from a yoga teacher training. Is this normal? Written by Nicole K, 48. I recently joined the yoga teacher training program at a local studio. At first, I loved it. The main teacher was fantastic and her classes were truly inspiring. But as the program went on, I started noticing some things that felt off. One red flag for me was when the head teacher asked everyone in the group setting to share their personal traumas. This felt really inappropriate and made me wonder if she was collecting personal intel on people. It seemed less about healing and more about control. I honestly don't think it's about control, you know. It looks like the typical spiritual healing kind of approach, but it's definitely weird, like I would feel uncomfortable as well. Then the main teacher started hyper-focusing on one student and eventually invited her to join a special group. This group met separately, studied a course in miracles and wore white robes. At first I was a little offended that this invitation wasn't extended to everyone, but as time went on, I started feeling relieved that I wasn't included. At one point, the teacher asked if I followed a particular New Age podcast and if I was a believer. Okay, that's definitely weird. When I said no, she looked disappointed. The whole thing gave me weird culty vibes and I could not shake the feeling that there was something more going on behind the scenes, definitely. What really stuck with me was when the teacher casually mentioned that most people in the teacher training program end up getting divorced. At that time I brushed it off, but looking back it feels like a huge red flag. Since finishing the training, I haven't gone back to the studio, and honestly, I don't miss it. Has anyone else experienced anything like this in a yoga teacher training, or is this just straight up weird? I mean, I've never been to anything like this, but it's definitely weird. Something is really going on there, you know, and honestly, it does sound a bit culty. I mean, I get that wellness is not just about the body, right? It's about the mind and spirit, and yoga especially focuses on that, but I feel like a lot of people in the wellness space recently kind of like lost the touch with the reality, you know, and this situation is just like one of the many examples. Maybe I could understand if something like this is happening at a healing retreat or whatever, but like it's a yoga teacher training, like what the hell is going on? Why there are separate groups of people? Why people are wearing white robes? Why they call themselves believers and everything? Like something is definitely off here. So it's really good that you did not go back, because you really shouldn't. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you have any thoughts or opinions about today's stories, or maybe you have your own crazy experiences you would love to share, feel free to do that in comments. As always, don't forget to like this video and follow me here on YouTube not to miss any future uploads, and of course to support my channel and support my work. Of course, thank you for watching today's episode. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I will see you in the next one.